Hello, Dealey, and welcome to Something Edible.
I don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't enjoy putting ranch on stuff, especially around these parts. It's just kind of that go-to condiment. But you know, there's a lot about ranch that isn't all that great for you. And even if you get into the fat-free stuff, then you're really wondering where those ingredients came from. Well, I say instead of just taking the fat out and trying to replace it with something and you don't know what it is, you know, you can put flavor back into that, and as well as weird chemicals and ingredients and stuff. So what I like to do is I like to put together a spicy Southwest style ranch that really doesn't skimp on flavor. And the secret to keeping that dressing a little healthier is to use strained yogurt instead, or Greek yogurt if you like. So we're going to put together the seasoning for that and then add what makes it creamy and great and all ranch-like here. So let me show you how to put this spicy Southwest Ranch dip. To put this Southwest Ranch together, we're going to get together all the seasonings, and it's going to be packed full of seasonings to make sure that we get everything, you know, all that flavor without the fat. I'm starting out with a teaspoon of kosher salt, and then I'm going to add a half teaspoon of onion powder, and then I'm going to add a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder, and to that I'm going to add a quarter teaspoon of ancho chili powder, and then I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper, and that's about a quarter teaspoon right there. The next thing I'm going to add is this stuff called True Lime. They're not paying me to say this, I just like this stuff. It's crystallized lime, and anytime where you want like a lime flavor and you don't want all the liquid that goes with it, this stuff's great for that. That's 1 packet's worth, and that's 1/8 of a teaspoon. I measured it for you. So after that, I want another 1/8 teaspoon, only this is the spicy stuff. That's ground chili flake, and you can use cayenne as well. It's about the same, 1/8 of a teaspoon. And then I'm going to use 1/8 of a teaspoon of cumin. And, oh yeah, I've got some coriander here too. That's a quarter teaspoon of coriander. And then we're going to add some fresh herb too. This right here is 2 teaspoons of fresh cilantro. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of cider vinegar to that, and a teaspoon of honey. My fancy pants honey dispenser here. There's about a teaspoon right there. If you've got raw honey, use it. If you just got clover honey, you can use that too. So I'm going to take all of this stuff and I'm going to kind of give it a whisk here and get this all mixed together. This is a very concentrated, flavor-packed bit of seasoning here, and we're going to add this to the ranch stuff proper, the creamy side of the ranch. So this is the flavor, and we're going to add the creamy stuff to it later. But first, this needs to sit. I like to let those flavors marry together for about 15 minutes before I go adding everything else. You don't have to do this, but you'll thank me later if you do. So we'll come back in 15 minutes and we'll put this stuff together. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes, and you can see that this is starting to thicken up a little bit in here because all the liquid that we've added into our seasoning base is starting to get to the point where it's hydrating all those spices. So we're ready now to add what everybody thinks of when they think of ranch, the creamy side of things. So first of all, we're gonna add to this a quarter cup of mayo, and then I'm also going to add a half cup of strained yogurt. Now, the thing about strained yogurt is what you're doing is you're letting this stuff sit, and I got this fancy contraption which is really just a strainer and a coffee filter, and I let this sit in my fridge for at least 3 hours, and with a bowl underneath it. And in that bowl, you're going to get the liquid in the yogurt. This is almost 2 ounces of water. Basically, you're taking 3/4 of a cup of liquid, and you're reducing that yogurt down to a half a cup at the end of the day. So this is what we got. You don't want this in your ranch. So in goes the mayonnaise. You can use low fat if you want, if you really want to healthy things up, or you can use full fat. I mean, we are substituting out a good deal of yogurt here. I whisk that in first, and then I'm going to take my strained yogurt here. This is, when we're all said and done, this is a half cup of strained yogurt. And if you don't have the time to strain, you can use like the Greek yogurts, but you better go deluxe if you do, because a lot of those Greek yogurts, they're basically just plain yogurt that's got extra thickeners and pectins and things like that in there, because straining yogurt's expensive. You know, you're throwing out a good portion of your weight in water there, and they would rather sell you the water than sell you the strained yogurt. So at the end of the day, you're probably better off straining your own if you've got 3 hours to burn, and if you don't feel like buying the Beverly Hills branded Greek yogurt. So that's pretty much it right there. I need to get this into a bottle and get this on some raw veggies or some salad, so I'm gonna go get me something to put it on. Well, I found me a salad here to put my Southwest Ranch underneath. So I'm going to put this on here. I just, this is real simple. I just got some tomatoes and chilies on top of a blend of lettuce, some chips, and oh geez, that corn and black bean salsa looks kind of familiar. Wonder where that came from. Anyhow, here's the here's our ranch. And if you want to add a little bit extra to that, you can, because most of it's yogurt and flavor anyway. There's really not too much mayonnaise in here at all. So, we've made this a lot healthier. I'm hungry. I'm going to dig in. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm just going to do a little with the lettuce to begin with. We know what the salsa tastes like. Yeah, that's, we got tangy, we got spicy, not real spicy, but enough to let you know that we're in the Southwest, I mean, we got chili in there and all those things that people associate with this. This would be great on top of tacos. I've used this in quesadillas before. You actually take this, the black bean and corn salsa that we did in another episode, you can actually take that, squirt a little bit of the Southwest Ranch on there, and fold that into a tortilla. Makes a great quesadilla and gets you in and out of lunch in a hurry, especially with kids. So if you want to go at this Spicy Southwest Ranch, you can get the recipe at the Hayes Daily News' website, or you can look it up on my website, somethingedible.com. And if you need any detailed explanations, got questions, whatever, you can get on my Facebook page or even look me up on Twitter. So I hope you like the dressing. Enjoy. I am.